Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you one of the most toxic debates in the One Piece community. Enel, the lightning man who everyone believes to be strong even when talking about post-time skip, versus Ace, who everyone loves to downplay and believes he'd get folded by like Gear 4 Luffy and Dressrosa. And you know, fire versus lightning, oh my god. You get it, alright, let's just not waste any more time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start off with Ace since I barely talk about bros scaling ever, and now's my chance to spread the gospel. Even while crippled and drained from Seastone at Marineford, we see Ace clashing with Aokiji and scaling to Akainu in speed on more than one occasion. And Aokiji was clashing with Ace while having an elemental disadvantage, so if anything, this is more of a feat for Aokiji. However, we do see what Ace is capable of before being captured in his fight with Blackbeard. Even while Blackbeard can literally negate Ace's fruit, Ace would go on to damage Blackbeard significantly and was portrayed to be somewhat relative to him. And even earlier on in his life, he was able to fight evenly with base Yamato. That same Yamato who's casually blocking attacks from Gear 3 Luffy after his prison training. Meaning at the very least, Yamato hyper casually is blocking attacks that would slam Gear 4 Luffy from Dressrosa. And Yamato does get locked up, plus Ace fights her actual base form, meaning it can be argued that Ace unironically is scaling to top tiers in Whole Cake. People actually think Ace is just above Gear 2 Luffy only because Blackbeard gets off guarded by him, but Ace in his prime genuinely was a force to be reckoned with. He really shouldn't be that far behind from the likes of Marco, who's still relevant to this day. Also, to get this out the way, yes, Ace has Haki. It's been confirmed he has it. He just doesn't use it like he should because he's dumb, plus pre-time skip problems. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he did have speed scaling comparable to the Admirals after being fatigued from Seastone cuffs, and even in his younger days, he damaged a Whitebeard who should be at the very least in a better condition than he was at Marineford, and did do slight damage. Take this feat with a grain of salt though, as we have instances of characters surviving attacks from Yonkos or drawing blood from them, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're Yonko level. Like, are we really gonna say that Queen is Yonko level? Like, the Yonko commanders are obviously below the Yonkos themselves. However, the fact that this Whitebeard is in a way better condition than he was at Marineford is kind of impressive for Ace. And it would also support the fact that he was nerfed at Marineford. And even if you want to downplay Ace, like, he did body slam Blackbeard, who body slammed Gear 2 Luffy, and I'm going to be proving why Enel is fodder and doesn't even get past Gear 2 Luffy. Enel is the man who once ruled Skypiea, who wielded the power of Mantra, aka Observation Haki. However, he was mainly known for his lightning Logia Devil Fruit and having the ability to turn himself into lightning. And because he was introduced so early on, similar to the likes of Crocodile, nobody could really touch him, let alone defeat him. That is until Luffy faced him, who just so happens to be made of rubber, countering Enel's intangibility and allowing him to hit Enel. A lot of people believe this to mean that Luffy's win against him was a cop-out and Luffy doesn't scale to Enel, but that's just not true. All this means is that Luffy can hit Enel. It doesn't mean he just automatically scales above him, which means Luffy drawing blood, tagging, and even reacting to Enel are feats we have to take into account. And it's kind of funny because I've seen these same people apply these feats for Crocodile. Like, people will downplay Crocodile because of his feats in Arabasta, and yet say, oh, well, the only reason Enel lost is because Luffy can hit him. Like, Luffy would also need the stats to beat up bro. You guys do realize that, right? This is crazy since the crew, as they passed each island, would grow stronger and stronger, implied by Zoro. And in Water 7, Luffy couldn't even touch Blueno and ended up becoming stronger than him and even increasing his power enough to face Rob Lucci. Meaning Luffy got roughly 5 times stronger in between Water 7 and Enies Lobby, and then he unlocks Gear 2, which is a 10 times multiplier. I don't even know how you get Enel above Blueno in stats. Genuinely, someone tried. Like, actually, please, someone comment down below, how does Enel actually get past Blueno in stats? At best, Enel was relatively above pre-Enies Lobby Luffy in stats, with his Logia factor and Haki carrying. And again, this is not the first time where Luffy scales to a Logia user in stats. Enel fans are actually convinced this man was him because Oda said that he'd have a high bounty if he was a pirate. Which, by the way, is based on not just your power, but your literal clout plus other factors. Like, bro, Chopper isn't the weakest dude in the verse, and he has the lowest bounty we've ever seen. Like, be for real! Nami, Usopp, and Sanji all react to his attacks, bro. Like, Enel sucks. I'm telling you guys, he is the biggest fraud in One Piece. Now, from the looks of it, it seems like the donut has the advantage over Eminem. Seriously though, all I need is just this one scan to show why Ace is above Enel, and since he has hockey, there's literally no argument. Ace might be at least over 50 times stronger and faster, and even if Enel can somehow tag Ace, how does he even hit him, guys? Enel doesn't have armament hockey, so even if you want to say, oh my god, he's lightning itself, he's big fast, how does he even attempt to damage Ace? Ace could unironically pull a Katakuri and warp around bro's lightning and turn him into toast with a fire fist. Well, Ty learned, we do know back in Arabasta, Ace and Smoker are relative. If I actually see that comment, by the way, I'm just gonna chokeslam your grandma. Enel stinks, Ace is underrated, and I'm him. Goodbye.